So week ending 13th of August 2020, I'm actually standing or virtually standing here in front of Varsity Lakes train station, which is the last train station going into the Gold Coast where the trains terminate. It's where one of our switches comes from. It's actually a suburb that was created back in 2002 when Andrews, Stevens and part of Robina merged. It's also the suburb where Bond University is, or on the outskirts there with Robina. Bond in itself are not that well known when it comes to financial planning, but obviously as an industry, we're going through a raft of changes when it comes to education, FASEA, CPD. So rather than point you to Bond, where I will point you to is zoneeducation.com.au, brought to you by Zurich, Zurich's new platform where it captures all sorts of training courses related to financial planning, insurance, ethics and the like. So go to zoneeducation.com.au. This week, relatively flat week or subdued week, which is great. Jumped the gun there with pressing the buttons. Left industry 17, left the industry switch licensees 16, and in terms of joined 3. So Michael, Jacob, Azad would be great to get some more females coming through the industry as we continue to see the male dominance come through. But in terms of net exits all up, it's still 14 leaving the industry. Shout out to the switchers. So Kevin is who I'm referring to from Varsity Lakes. So Kevin leaving Garvin Financial Planning, going to the very well regarded and known FYG Planners run by Peter Mansell. Ray Ong out there in Subiaco, leaving Godfrey Pembroke, again another MLC license, looking to wind down, setting up his own license, Fortitude Wealth Partners. And Bronwyn Batty leaving Wealth Forum with a couple of her colleagues going to United Advice, trading as United Advisory. So 3 of those advisors actually make the top gain for the week. So, well done, Bronwyn and Co for setting up your new license. Capstone, net gain of 1. Grant O'Reilly's group, 248 now. Century Group, Perth-based, 142 as at today, increasing their numbers. And Millennium 3, whilst a net gain of 1 for the week, has been losing numbers as they consolidate within the whole IWF group as they've purchased M3 from ANZ a couple of years back. Top losses, an interesting anecdote or an interesting number here, 999. It's the first time AMP's been below 1,000 for quite some time, and that's AMPFP. GWM or Garvin, as it's well known as, 297. Wealth Forum with Bronwyn and her colleagues leaving a net loss of 3. Charter AMP owned lost 2, and Gallagher lost 2. I guess quote of the week is quite pertinent given we're now 6 months post-COVID and Victoria's still in lockdown. It's something that John Brogden raised, chair of Lifeline, the fact that numbers have increased 20 to 25% in terms of calls from consumers to Lifeline, and acts as usually a precursor to mental health and other issues that are going on in the market. And it really hits our industry, as we all know, with the number of exits, 25% from their highs, and most of those exits are men in their 50s. And we know that most men in their 50s, as John said, many of them will actually never go back into the workforce again, never. So there's all of that pressure as well. So we know that all too well as an industry, trying to get on top of that, obviously, in terms of keeping people within the game, keeping people within the industry, giving consumers affordable and accessible advice. I know the regulators all on top of that now, and we'll continue to push that when it comes to a scaled advice regime. And we do believe there is scope for that. And we'd like to think that hopefully advisors do stick around and not be pressured into leaving the industry. So that's it for the week. We'll bring more of that sort of mental health issue to the forefront as part of our Together Australia campaign. But just a final sign off with just in terms of saying all of that sort of stuff. You can find out more about, retrain yourself, stay in the game. Go to Zurich, zoneeducation.com.au. So until next week, stay safe and well. Cheers.